All right, so we're starting chapter 23. Yeah, 23. And that's the digestive system. So I'm going to do a digestive system sort of overview. So, okay. So the digestive system. Put that there. Okay. So let's look at the functions of the digestive system that we're going to go through for this chapter. Okay. So the digestive system is a system that talks about what happens along the tube that runs from your mouth right? So from the mouth all the way down to the exit point. So the anus, right? Food comes in your mouth and exits out the other side there. Okay, so the digestive system, again, starts at your mouth, and it's just a big, long tube. So it starts at the mouth, and it's just a long tube, and along that tube, there are some different, tissues there. There's that do different things, and we're going to talk about the functions of these little the things that the digestive system does along the way, along this tube here. So from mouth to anus. Okay. All right. So functions. So the first function that we have is going to be to ingest food, to bring in nutrients, right? And we do that by eating. Okay, so ingesting food. So that is the first function. All right. What happens there? Okay, so we bring in this food, this little piece of food here, right? And that food has to be broken down. Okay, food, when we bring in foods, we're talking about, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, all of those things. And those are huge molecules. So those huge molecules have to be broken down to their smallest component so that we can take those into our bodies. So understand that the digestive tract from mouth to anus is not inside your body. Okay, the food is in this tube. It is still outside of your body. Okay. All right, so once the food is in there, then the next thing that occurs, so the second thing is digesting. So digest food. So now we have to break it down into some smaller parts here. So let's say we break it down into this and into this. Your body doesn't automatically, as soon as it gets into your mouth, break it down to its smallest part. It does it in sort of phases. So in digestion, as basically your what does it include? So it includes, it coming into your mouth, you're chewing it, Your saliva is breaking it down a little bit. Your tongue is mixing it around, all of that. Then you swallow. It ends up in your esophagus, and the esophagus, which is very muscular, is pushing it down into the stomach. That is also sort of kneading it and physically breaking it down. And then it gets to the stomach. Okay, so on its travels, it's going through two types of digestion. So we have mechanical digestion and chemical digestion. Okay, so what is mechanical digestion? So mechanical digestion is where a force is added to break it down. So we add a force to break it down. So like your teeth, right? Chewing. Chemical digestion. So chemical digestion is where you add a chemical to break it down. So in the saliva, there are enzymes that are going to break down certain things. In the stomach, there are enzymes that's going to break down different things, proteins, carbohydrates, whatever. Okay. So along with the food is in there and has to be digested, the third function is this color. So the third function is motility. Because in order to get anything out of this food, it has to be moved along this tube. It has to move from mouth down the throat, down the esophagus, into the stomach. It's got to go into the intestines, and it's got to be moved along, and that is called motility. Okay? All right, the fourth function. So the fourth function is secretion. And secretion has to do with, the cells here along the way basically put out chemicals in order to break down this food. Okay, so it secretes stuff. It secretes mucus to make it move along. It's secreting enzymes to break things down. It's secreting things to get the food in a way that it can be absorbed into our body. So that brings us to the fifth thing. So the fifth function then is absorption. So this food now has to go into the body. Again, when it's in this tube, it is not in the body. It has to be absorbed in the cells, through the cells of the digestive tract, and brought into the body. That is absorption. So now it's here. All right. So the last function then is elimination. So once we've gotten what we need out of this food, whatever's left then goes out. Okay, so those are the functions of the digestive system. So now we're going to talk about some anatomy.